So I am back. I went swimming in the Black Sea last weekend. Was the last swim of the season because the weather is going to turn and it'll get very, very cold. And I didn't want to miss the chance to have one more swim. And here we are today. I don't think I've missed too much this weekend. XRP did a massive pump. That one was unexpected because it wasn't really in line with what Bitcoin and Ethereum were doing. But looking back, I can see that XRP was lagging behind in steps. So it basically did what Ethereum and Bitcoin have done. Ethereum did it first, then Bitcoin followed, and now XRP is doing it. Now I'm going to start sharing so that you see what I mean. Screen. Close this. I need to put it on the S&P. We've also had some very abrupt S&P and Dow Jones moves at the weekend. I was listening to Raoul Paul's video on what's just happened in the stock market. I will send it over to you in the general discussion because I think it's good for all of you to see what's been going on, because the Dow Jones broke the 200 weekly, the 200 MA. It closed above it. The S&P and Nasdaq held it, so they didn't break it. So they seem to find some support, but what happened with the Dow Jones was really worrying as it was happening. Now these are quite abrupt moves for the stock market and the bond market. So I think it's good for us to keep an eye out, because crypto is not following it step by step or following them step by step, but it is influenced in terms of liquidity by them. I will make a note of it, because I've seen this happen before. Now it doesn't always happen as it happened before, but I'll tell you what I've noticed before. I've a lot of ideas to mention today. Okay, which one? S&P, perfect. Go live, and now I think you can see my S&P chart. Okay. Okay, Roy, you are still sharing your screen. Guys, can you see my screen, my S&P chart?
It says XRP.
It says XRP because I believe Roy's still sharing his. Roy, can you stop sharing your screen for the moment? Because I don't know which one they have access to. Can you see now my S&P 500 SPX? Excellent. Okay, super. So I'm going to start with the S&P. That is now the way I have the daily chart for the S&P. Again, I'm not an S&P analyst, so I don't do the analysis in super great detail, but I do keep an eye out on the daily level. So as you can see, there are always 3 steps down. So there's the level 1, which is the peak formation, which is the head and shoulders, basically where the neck of the head and shoulders is. And I've put that here because I found more touches here to this line than the bottom line. So this one clearly shows one shoulder, one head, and another shoulder, where there are 2 shoulders here, and they're both connected here on the right side to this line. So that to me would be my level 1. Then we have a level 2 drop. So once it broke the level 1, it came down to this level where it has some support here on the left side, and it broke it, came up above it, and from there onwards went up to touch this line here, the pink line, which is the previous support. So this is, so far, what the S&P has done is technically perfection, because it breaks support, comes down another level, and then goes up to retest that support. This is beautiful, technically speaking. From there onwards, it came down and back tested this line here. Well, I'm saying back test because it has closed above it. So on Friday, right now we're closed. We're going to open when New York opens today, and we are on it. So on it, above it, we're not below it. So at the moment, it looks like we've bottomed out here. There is no between, let me check, between this level here and this level here, even though they're in and around the same number and they're on the same line, there's no bullish divergence in the S&P chart. On the contrary, even if this level here was a little bit lower, this level here with the price above the support line has actually a descending momentum. This is not good in terms of a lift, because this shows that even though prices are staying the same, the momentum is descending. So here's where prices actually closed lower, but momentum was above the bottom line of the RSI. So it was above the 30. Now it's pierced through the 30. So momentum has dropped. Every time I see this, it leads to another drop. Now, we have, again, because I haven't kept an eye on the S&P for a long time, and I tend to be more cautious in terms of intermediary levels. This drop could go, this next drop could be up to here, so a little bit lower than the previous low, so a lower low, which could maybe make a bullish divergence in the future with this low here. So I am watching what the S&P does this week in terms of finding some support. The daily RSIs, both the stochastic and the regular one, are at the bottom. The weekly one is going towards the bottom, so it hasn't yet bottomed out. It's turned down and pushing down. So if I am to look at the context on the weekly, I'd say there's more space to push down. For the coming weeks, I would say there's more momentum to the downside. Now, on Friday, the stocks and the bonds were coming down, while crypto, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum were making a green day. I told this to Roy a couple of days ago because I've seen it before the previous drop. So, and by the previous drop, let me change to the Ethereum daily chart. By the previous drop, I mean this drop here, when we started coming down. What happens is the market makers take their liquidity out of more stable assets like stocks and bonds, and they put it for one final push in the more volatile assets such as crypto. So I remember commentators talking about this because I was really confused when it happened here. I was like, why is everything coming down and crypto's going green? And it was right before it made another drop. So they basically, the market makers move liquidity around to get the final gains from the market on the way up. So before they start the sellout in crypto. Again, that's I've seen it happen once. I'm keeping my eye out on for this one to see what's going to happen now. But I am, taking Friday's lift as the stock markets were coming down and crypto was doing a green day with a big pinch of salt. So I don't think it means we're uncoupling from the stocks or we're uncoupling from the other assets. I think what that means is there's liquidity being moved around, and liquidity was put into crypto at that stage. So that's the general context, the way I see it. I believe we've had a momentary lift, a momentary breather. That breather can still continue a little bit, but I think that we have one more step to go down. For the S&P, I believe that final step will be somewhere around here. I'll have to watch it. For Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think that the next step down would be somewhere around, again, very conservatively, 700, between 600 and 700 for Ethereum, and for Bitcoin around 14, between the 14 and the 13, or let me take that back, between the 15 and the 13, just to give you a bigger range. We'll zoom in on that when that happens. Now, where are we this week? I'm going to start with Ethereum because Ethereum is really clear in terms of levels, and it's a pleasure to chart it. We are holding the 12. I've just posted this in Discord. We're holding the 1290 line of support, and the 1290 line of support is this daily level. And again, we can pull it down a little bit, make it 1280. It's somewhere between 1280 and 1300. What's $20 in this context, in the daily context? So that's going to help us map out the space that we're gonna look to trade in this week. And if we're looking at the possible trades to make for this week, we have the space between the 1290 line, which is the white line. The next white line is around the 1500, and the next line is this green line of divergence, which comes all the way from here, which was one of the retests of the how can I say, not the peak formation, this tops formation, and it is one of the shoulders. So it is the first lower high that it made. If I am to put it from here, it wouldn't make sense on the angle. It will make sense later on when we break this. Absolutely, you'll see a divergence line going a little bit wider, fanned out to include this top. But at the moment, it wouldn't make sense because we have this line confirmed here, here, and here. So it is locally very strongly confirmed. Now, what we're looking at this week is a retest of the 20 EMA, and then possibly, if the 20 EMA holds on the daily, a retest of the 50 EMA. And the retest of the 50 EMA, I assume in a couple of days, will be quite in line with the retest of the, I'm going to say the 1500 line to be more concise, but it can be somewhere around 1480. So in and around this level here, 1490, 1500. Just realized I have my webcam still in. There we go. Okay, so now what we're looking at is a possible rejection at the 20 EMA. And I'm going to show you why, where is it? There it is. Okay, so I believe that, again, we're in a tighter space than where we were here. But I believe what happened here, above the 55 and above the 20, is very similar to what happened here. So we had two peaks above the 55 EMA on the daily. So starting with the higher high here, so this is our peak. We came down, we had two peaks. These all of these attempts could not break the 50. We had two peaks here. We set this divergence line, and then where we are right now, we have the two peaks above the 55. And I'm not taking this into account because this is the lead up to this. So this one has this as well. So peak here, divergence line, peak here, divergence line. Super. Then we have this one which backtests it, gets rejected, and comes down. This one didn't backtest, but it is still above the 55. Now here we have, oh, there we go. Here we have a back test of the 20 on the daily, and then we have a rejection, and that rejection pushes us down to this level. I'm taking my inspiration from here, from this previous pattern, thinking where we are going with this. So what is the space we are lifting in, because the stochastic on the daily is clearly making a lift, and it's making a lift back into the box. So when I see the RSIs or the stock RSIs going back into the box, they can continue their momentum upwards. So the space that I can see this moving in is the space where we are right now, up to the 1400. The 20 EMA right now is 1415, 1416. So it could today / tomorrow go up to here and then come down for this level, which is the 1030. Can it do a lower low? Yes, it could, but that would be that would be a massive percentage drop, and that would actually force us to move this a little bit lower in this region, because this is another option I was looking at, this being the level. We'll see when it happens. I'm just keeping this here because of all the local touches here. So I'm thinking this is more likely to be retested before the 850 is hit again. So what we have right now on the 1 hour, let me go ahead with the 1 hour. There we go. What we have right now on the 1 hour is two things. So if we are to look at the 1 hour levels, which are a lot more detailed than the daily ones, we can have three possible trades to make, and they all depend on these intermediary levels and how they're being held when they're reached. So for the moment, what I see is on the 1 hour, the 20 EMA is being held for support. Now I would be waiting to go into a long when the 15-minute RSI retraces back to the bottom. So if the 15-minute RSI retraces back to the bottom and it prints a double bottom here along the 1280 1290 line, happy days, we can continue upwards on the 1 hour. It can still go upwards from where it is right now. So if you aren't in a long right now, I don't think that this is the best moment to go in, because I believe it's already made half of the journey if it continues from where it is right now. So we can see what generally happens is we see New York correcting against its intention. So New York could correct down, and it can push the stochastic on the 15-minute and the normal RSI, the regular RSI, down, and then continue upwards. Or we can see London hold the 20 EMA and continue upwards. So that would be the first how can I say, trade possibility. So if we're closing above the 20 EMA on the 1 hour, chances are we're going to continue going upwards. Why can't I change the color of this? Okay, this is okay. Maybe it's my screen. So the first target to watch for would be somewhere around here, around the 1410, which is the 20 EMA on the daily. So we might see that. Now you could do two things. You could either long there and close your position, or you could close part of your position and see if it comes up to around 1500. And I'm saying 1500 because the 55 EMA is 1535. There we go. The divergence line, if it continues for the next 2 days, 3 days, would be 1600. So in order to get to 1600, where is it? Here. In order to get to the 1600, which we have it here as a third level, it'll have to hold this one. So if you go in along holding the 20 EMA here, you may want to take some of your profit here, and I would take 75% here, and then DCA when this line is being turned into support. Follow it up to here, take 75% here, and then DCA when the next line is being held for support. So these are these would be the 3 trades, but it's actually just 2 if you have missed this double bottom here, because this is a local double bottom indicating retracement. Now you could also follow you could also use these retracements to build on your shorts, because the weekly stochastic is still pushing down. So the weekly momentum is still pushing down. I know that the daily is coming up, but the daily, as I have noticed in the previous pattern, the daily is coming up to do this retest so that it can gain liquidity to break down to the next level. The current level would be 1030, the next level would be 850, and the next one would be around 700, between 700 and 600. So no, 700 and 500. Let's be, we're going to calculate more precisely then, but it's when it has some structure. At the moment what we're doing is we're building something here. We are contracting. Price action is contracting in this area here. And I'm just going to move this line so that you see the triangle. I think Michael posted a triangle on the chats. There it is. So this is the descending triangle that we're building price action in. You could also see it as a diamond. There it is. But again, I've seen Ethereum invalidate diamonds very quickly, so that's why I stopped pointing them out, and I look for more solid structures that I've seen play out, like the channels or the triangles. So at the moment, if it is to break out of here with support of the 20 EMA on the 1 hour, which seems to be holding at the moment, if it is going to break out with conviction, here's the level. Now, you can watch this level to build your short, because my personal belief is it will come down from that level. That is the 20 EMA, and from that level, it's going to come down and make another push. We will have to see where the RSIs are on the 4 hour and where the RSI is on the daily when that happens. We are in a very transitional stage. Again, I believe my daily levels indicate another drop down, but we have to see that rejection, and we have to see that turn down. At the moment, there's no long-term reversal. I wouldn't see it as a reversal. I would just see it as a breather on the way down, collecting liquidity so that it breaks through lower levels. So these are the three levels up. The first one is the more likely one. Maybe we get to hit the 55. The divergence line on the daily seems to me the most unlikely level to hit. So these would be the two possible trades. Breakout from the triangle, following it up to the 1400s. It would be a small trade though. So it would be a small trade, 6%. If you're leaving 30% on the table, I'd say about 40% profit. still worth it. And then this one would be about the same. So about let's say 12%. If you're leaving 30% on the table, that would be about 90%. So a good amount of profit. Now, why am I being a little bit more reticent about the profit on the way up? Because I'm looking at the profit on the way down. So you could make that profit from two trades, or if it breaks the support line, we're heading down for the 12% down to 1130. So this would be this intermediary level, which I think would actually which is just it's just a midline. It's just a midline of the previous consolidation. I don't think 1130 will be where we're going to stop. I think 1130 might be, let's say, like a pit stop, just a little bit. I think we're coming down for. Let me see where the. I'm going to move this up to there. 1030. So 1033, that would be 1030. That would be this nice little chunk of profit at 18%. So I believe the move downwards, which would be a breakout trade from after all of this consolidation, breaking down to here would be 18%. You leave a little bit on the table, that's 15%, but being a breakout trade will mean that it's going to move with momentum. It's going to move like this. It's going to move like this. So it's going to move a little bit faster than what we're seeing right now, because what we're seeing right now is movement against the trend. So it's a lift when price action is below the 20. So it's a lift in a downtrend. So it's going to move very slowly. So this would be the big fish to fry, in my opinion, for Ethereum this week. I'm gonna put a path so that you see what I mean. So we get up to here, we turn this into support, we can get up to here, we turn this into support, we can get up to here. So these would be the 3 steps up that I see Ethereum doing this week. Let me move this one here. And they would all be in line with the daily levels. That's why I checked the daily levels before that, so that you get to see what the background is. Because right now we're moving on the daily. These moves are just consolidation for the daily price action to meet its targets. And from here a little bit down to here and down to here. So this would be the downwards slope. Yeah, that would be how I see this happening. Again, Ethereum likes to do so. Here we were looking at this double top and then a spike up. Now we've had another double top here. I believe we're going to see another spike up and then head down. So I would be watching, rather than doing this long, I would be watching to see what's happening here. And if here it's getting rejected and it's stopping out and it's printing a bearish divergence on the 15-minute, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to either DCA in a short or start a short position on the way down. Because that would, I mean, in terms of gains, that would just be amazing. Following it down, it would be a 27% drop. Absolutely beautiful. So I know JD has taken some profit. I would be watching to see what's happening around the 1400 area. And if you see a bearish divergence on the 15-minute, I think it would be a good chance for you to add some money to that and follow it down.
For sure.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw your levels as well, and yeah, it's super in line with the daily context.
Thank you.
Super. Yeah. Well, again, we have to keep in mind that that we are like what the commentators are saying is it could go both ways. Everybody's being very bearish right now. What Raoul Paul was saying is because everybody's bearish, like the financial institutions like the Feds will rebalance the market. So we'll see a rebalancing, but he's talking about that in the coming months, which is in line with where I see this going. If we drop another level, for the next months we consolidate and then we see the real lift. And we've had our 3 steps down, we've had our consolidation, and then we go up. Again, these are for us as daily traders. It's more important to see what's happening on the daily. There come moments like this one where the daily levels are the ones showing the space that we're moving in. So even though we might have a double bottom here, it could be like a fake double bottom just for a small breather. But we have to keep in mind, because if Ethereum bursts and explodes through the 20 EMA on the daily, right about here, it is, it shows clearly its intention to turn it into support, turn the 55 EMA. And if it holds the 20, if it holds the 55, we know there's more uplift happening. So we need to keep an eye out and be very aware of where it is. That's why I'm saying the management of your positions is essential. So I'd rather DCA on a rejection right now, because I want to see that momentum turning rather than DCAing on levels. We've had our correction for this lift. So once the correction, so it was a 702 correction right about here. It was a 702 correction. So once the correction is in, we need to see if the direction is going to change or not. When the correction is not in, we know the correction is coming and we can work with the levels on the way down towards the correction. Now, Ethereum likes to do all levels of corrections, unlike XRP, which is more regular and does the 786 more often. Ethereum likes either the golden pocket or the 702 or the 786. So it doesn't have a particular level. What I've noticed Ethereum likes doing is actually going back to base, even making a lower low. So that would be very much in line with this wedge, this pink blowhorn that it broke out of and coming back down to 850. But that is, again, that might take a couple of weeks to happen. We're going to need to keep an eye out and see how this is. Okay, super. Do you guys have any questions about Ethereum? No, super. Let's move on to Bitcoin. Let's move on to Bitcoin. I'm going to start with the daily levels as well. Now, on Bitcoin, we have the daily stochastic, just like with Ethereum, pushing up for some sort of relief. Now, again, I'm watching to see the previous pattern. So we've had an ascending triangle here that broke down, and then it consolidated in a sideways ascending channel that broke down. We had again another triangle here that broke down, and then it consolidated in a sideways channel and then broke down a level down to here. It is similarly to Ethereum. I love the way, it's similar in movement, not in levels. Ethereum is one level lower. Ethereum started the descent earlier than all the coins and then continued to drop down. So it has one level lower in support and resistance levels. But Bitcoin is holding this support line, which is the 19K support line. I'll call it 19K. It hasn't managed to get above the 20 EMA on the daily. It could at 19,600. And it could get all the way up here to backtest the 55 at 20,800. And it would be backtesting also this channel line. I made it a little bit thicker, which is a descending channel line on the daily. This the yellow line is the overflow space. So we are not breaking out on the daily until we are out with solid candles from this space, breaking the yellow line. So I remember somewhere around here people were going, oh, we're going for a 30K Bitcoin, which would have been a target if we had broken this line, but we didn't break it. We didn't even break, let me zoom in on this channel. We didn't even break this one. However, we broke it to the downside. We came down to this level. We backtested this level. Now we are holding the 19K level for support. The daily stochastic is turning up. Even the daily MACD looks like it's gonna turn up. So we might see on the daily a little bit of a breather. The technical target of this channel hasn't yet been met. The technical target that I have is 17K. And the next level would be the 16,500. And that is in perfect confluence with a 4-hour structure that I have, that I'm going to show it to you straight away. This is the 4-hour structure that I have here. So in this 4-hour structure, I have a descending channel slightly tweaked at a different angle, just to include the this 4-hour midline, the center line of support and resistance. So if we're looking at the 4-hour structure that we're in, we are in the middle of the middle. And again, anything can happen where we are here. The stochastic is showing a little bit of momentum upwards. We have come up and back tested the 55 EMA on the 4-hour. It seems like we're printing quite a sustainable rejection wick here, but we still have an hour and 13 minutes until the closing of the candle. Now, if this 4-hour structure breaks, if the 4-hour midline breaks, we have a technical target of around 16,300. So it is in line with the daily levels. If it holds, we might see a lift up to 21K, a lift up to, sorry, just let me readjust this, because this is what I had. There we go. Okay, 21K 400, which would be we wouldn't really have an equivalent on the daily unless we do something along these lines. So unless I turn this channel into, again, similarly to Ethereum, like a blowhorn formation, and here we have 21,400. So it is the divergence line. It would be meeting this white divergence line as I have, there we go, as I have aligned it, considering the recent price action. So yes, it could come all the way up to here and from there get rejected, or on the contrary, if it comes up there and it has the oomph, it has the juice to keep pushing, it could keep pushing upwards. Now, where are we on our our trade setups for this week. For the moment, the stochastic RSI on the 1 hour is up high, similarly to Ethereum's, but unlike Ethereum's, the 15-minute is down at the bottom. So we could see, because of all of this, lifting momentum. So here we see in the RSI, we see that we've had a lifting momentum here at the bottom. We've had a double bottom formation here, but I believe we are again in the same triangle situation. We are in the same triangle situation here. If we see this triangle breaking up, the first level to watch for to hold would be this one, the 20,000, which is again, it's Bitcoin's very irregular in terms of levels. It has its psychological levels in the round thousands, 19,000, 20,000, and then we have 25,000. 22.5 is also a big one. Where is it? I think it is this one. No, that's 25, 22. And let me show you why. There we go. So this one is, I have to, come on. There we go. I have some writing. This is 22.5. So 22.5 is the sort of like resistance level of this. We only had a couple of peaks above it, and then it was threatening to break out. So that's why everybody was shouting, oh, we're going into the 30K area. I'm gonna slowly tweak this. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, nothing spectacular has happened this weekend. This is the space that we moved between. We moved between a five. Was it 1,000? Okay, let's make it 1,000. $1,000 space here. Again, it's a very small range. It's actually, I take that back. It's 6%. So it's not as small as I would have thought. Because I was in a short and I didn't get in the red for a lot. Okay, so yeah, I think it's because of the midline where I jumped in. So it was a 6%. It was a 6% range. We could, again, similarly to Ethereum, we could look at this as a diamond. Diamonds are reversal patterns most of the times. I have seen Bitcoin actually fulfill more diamonds than Ethereum. So it's not as Ethereum's more horizontally orientated. So Ethereum does these horizontal levels, whereas Bitcoin can go vertically as well, like B's and A's. So again, this could be reversal. Unfortunately, we have a lot of intermediary levels. If I am to remove this, so we have the 20K level that we need to hold. I won't remove it because it's psychological. I'm sorry. I would love to clean my charts and have fewer levels, but where we are right now, we're just, I find these levels essential for two things when I manage my positions. First is take profit, and second to DCA. So I always take 75% profit and then I DCA on the holding of the level. So that's why I have these intermediary levels. So we have, for Bitcoin, we have to so we would have 1, 2, okay, 3. So we have 2 possible trades to the upside and 1 breakout trade to the downside. So the 2 possible trades to the upside are if we get from where we are and we hold the let me put the EMAs on as well. So we hold the 19,500. I'll show you on the EMAs. We could get up to the 20k. So 20k would be the next target for us. So we hold this previous support and resistance. We go up to 20k. If we hold the 20k, the next target is, I would have said a little bit higher. Let me check to see how that is, because it has to be in line with the daily, which would be about 20. Come on, there we go. Which would be around 21,400. There. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that would be the next target. Again, we need to hold this and head up. They would be both very juicy trades in terms of targets, because Bitcoin has been building up a lot of strength where it is right now. Now, of course, they depend on whether or not this is real strength, so real intention, and we can check the trader's reality for that. The way we check to see what this has been is by seeing how many market maker candles we've had in the space of the 4-hour and the space of the daily. Now we haven't had market maker candles here, which means it's all retail trading. Again, I don't want to be so absolute. Mostly retail trading, so mostly low volume trading, which we can see in the volume candles as well. On the 4-hour, we've had 2 market maker candles for the buy and a lot, 1, 2, 3, 4 stop volume sell candles for the down. This one as well, 5. So as far as I can see from the vector candles, the market makers are a lot more inclined to sell than to buy. Again, this is how I read the vector candles. I wish I could read their mind. I wish, again, I can't say for sure this is what's going to happen, but to me, there's more of an indication of the down. So, but again, we are in the middle of the middle. We have made our correction. That's why I'm like, we could go up and we could go down, because similarly to Ethereum, we've made our correction. So if I'm putting a fib onto this swing, we've done a 786 and even went a little bit below it. We haven't broken the bottom of the impulse, but we've come quite close. So once the correction is in, all the possibilities are still on the table. That's why we need to be very aware and watch the trades more carefully. So this is where we have these are the 2 possible trades for the lift. If we break the 19k, which we've threatened to do for all of this weekend, it was bouncing off. So if we break it and we hold it, I believe 17.5 is the next one. We break the 17.5, we come down to, again, my technical target for this, and it's only because I've taken only this as a consolidation. If I am to take all of this, guys, it would be very tragic. Going to put it here. very tragic in terms of the number, but again, as traders, there's a lot of money to be made. 14,000, which is in line with the daily levels. I have a daily support and resistance line right about here, 13,400. So that's why I keep hesitating between 15, 14, and 13. Okay, so here would be the technical target for the short down, which is where I am. Like I am in a short in Bitcoin, going for the 17K level. So that's where I'll be taking 75%, and I'm going to leave the rest running for 16.5, because I believe that it will stop around the 16.5, do a little bit of consolidation, and then come down for the 14.5. Again, I'm going with a more likely target than the extreme 13,000, or even some people say even the 10K. Now, that's very, like, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been very technical to trade lately. They haven't done anything outside of the space they're in and outside of the space that we have mapped, which again, as a trader, you can't always tell which direction this is going, but you have milestones. That's why I have the daily levels and the weekly levels, and the 4-hour structures, so that I can tell if one line of support and resistance breaks, we're entering a new stage of the move. So that even if where we are right now can't tell me too much about where we're going, because we're not holding a superior or an inferior level, once we do that, I will be able to say, okay, we're going this way. So for instance, for Ethereum, if we're holding the 1400s, then I can tell, okay, we're going for the 15.5, even the 16. But we need to see how we're holding that. For Bitcoin, I don't know if it's going to get up to the 20K. I think this is the intention that it's trying to project right now. Once we get to the 20K, we can tell whether or not this is gonna get rejected, or if it is gonna hold it, we're gonna go higher towards the 21.5 and so on. So this would be how I am reading where we are right now. Again, if my short, if I will be using the 20K to DCA, and if I can see it, if I can see some red flags around there, like some MAs holding, then I will say, okay, I'm closing it at a loss because I don't like where this is going. If I don't see any of that, and I see a rejection, and I see very little conviction up around the 20K level, then I'll hold it open and give it time to make up its mind towards the down. That's it. That's it from me, and that's the general trade setup for the levels. I'll be posting these in the chats so that you see the levels as I have them, and you can map out your trades. And also, I like that on the Ethereum chat we're sharing a lot more TA, and the TA that you're sharing is in line with my TA, which again, I think it's the more we have confluence between the TA and us seeing the same levels, the how can I say, the more confident we are trading in that direction, because again, you need to have the confidence to trade in a particular direction. And we also need to be, again, if I see some invalidation happening, or if I see a red flag like the 1 hour holding, then I will flag it with you, so that you can either put a stop loss at your entry point so that you don't go into the red, or you can protect some of your profits. The point I was trying to make there was about the sharing and the keeping in touch with the validation and invalidation levels. So that's it.